Hey y'all. I know you missed me. I missed you too. Beads for baddies. Get you some. Look at all these beautiful charms. Their business has been doing really well. All different kind of beads. Get you some. Black entrepreneurship. Young greatness. Black excellence. All of that. Anyways, y'all see we got the stretch marks out today. And since my last episode was really heavy, I thought today we would do an episode that's all about love. Love, 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 love. Okay? And to be in specific, the three major males that I have loved in my life, the loves that were the most impactful to me. So I might tear up, but these are happy tears, so we're just going to keep going. All right? So y'all come on this journey with me, and I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Share the link. All of that. All of that. Shop Beads for Baddies on Instagram. All of that. So, the very first love of my life, the very first man I ever knew had my heart, was John Parsons. That was my adopted father. I went to live with him when I was about to be 2, and you do like a year with them, and then they adopt you. And so, about 2 years old, he passed away when I was 7. Now, I don't know why I remember so vividly so many things about that man or the time we spent together, unless it's just that in my eyes, he was all powerful. He was the best. So, and he saved me. And what I mean by he saved me is if you don't come from the system, you don't know. Let me explain it to you. It's like knowing that today at your football game, your basketball game, that the scouts will be there, the college scouts, the pro scouts, and this is your one opportunity. And you line up like that every time a potential parent comes. And I've always been a rebel. So when we were in the group home and they tried to line us up, not me. I ain't doing it. I did it one time. Lady came up, touched my hair or something. I don't really know. My sisters always just told me that I had a real bad attitude, and I walked away. And so every other time the other kids line up for to get picked, not me. Nigga, I don't care. I'm not doing it. So John Parsons found me, even though they were looking for a boy, a white boy, 2 or 3 or younger. He walked into the house and asked, is this all the children? And they said, no, there's one more, but she doesn't want to come. She was me. And he came around the corner. I only know this story because he told it to me. He came around the corner and he saw me, and he said, I looked up at him and he thought to himself, here's a kid who just needs my love. This is my little butterfly. And he took me home. And in the early 90s, they were scared about interracial abuse, so they made my sisters come with me. That's how we all got adopted, Sally and John Parsons. John was an amazing man. He was an army. He was a shooter. He used to brag all the time about how far he could shoot. He took me hunting with him several times. I watched him kill a bear. He was a fire chief. And that man always made me feel like I was safe. Like I would never, ever have to worry ever again. And my whole life changed when he died. My whole life. The way I was treated and the expectation I had for the rest of my life. Because he wasn't there anymore. A lot of the things that he did with me as a kid still stick with me to this day. Anytime we had a bad day, my father's solution was always ice cream. Let's go get ice cream. Let's go have secret ice cream, he used to call it. Just mine or your treat. Let's go have ice cream. So even now, when I'm really upset, or like me and the kids have had a bad day, I'm like, ice cream? Because my daddy used to do that. He loved pecans, and our neighbor had a pecan tree, but he always wanted you to buy the pecans. So my daddy used to take me there at night, and we'd just scoop up many pecans we could off the ground, and then run back to the truck and go home. He's the reason why I know a lot of classic rock songs, because he was in love with classic rock. Take me back to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Oh my God, he loved that fucking song. Jesus. Um, but he always took a time with me, even as a little girl, that I could see that he wasn't doing with my sisters. He would take time to read with me. He would be gone for long periods, right? Because he was in the service. So when he would come home, it's a homecoming. Yay, daddy's home. His wife's happy he's home. But he always took that time to come into my room, to come read a book with me. We watched a lot of wrestling. I still love wrestling because my daddy will hold you down and put a loogie on your forehead like a real weirdo. He drank Budweisers and smoked Camel cigarettes. And he made me smoke a whole pack one time because I tried to steal one. And yeah, I got sick and threw up. Which is why I can't believe I smoke cigarettes now. He probably would whoop my ass. He meant the most to me. He probably was the first person that I felt like actually loved me. Because I didn't even get that kind of love and affection from my sisters. But I got it from him. And I knew that he picked me. And that being picked almost meant more than if he had had me as his own daughter, because he could have picked anybody, and he picked me, and he loved me, and I loved him, and I know he loved me the day he died. He died of a massive heart attack in our home. That was a bad day. We're not going to talk about that day. Today is about love. But John Parsons, the very first man I ever loved, and I knew he loved me back. Okay, let's jump forward a little bit. Middle school. Y'all remember the middle school days? Getting fingered in the hallways? Don't lie. Don't lie. Y'all know what time it was. I was a pretty awkward kid. Obviously, I have acne now. I had acne as a kid. I had boobs, but I ain't had no shape. Hair was a mess. It's still a mess. It's raining outside. I don't give a fuck. And I was struggling with my racial identity at the time. So it was very hard for me. It was a very weird time for me. I was running away from home a lot. And I was like a bottle floating in the ocean. I thought I had purpose and direction, but the more I was out there, the more I realized I'm just going wherever it takes me. I'm not really in control of anything. 6th grade. Before like even like the summer between 5th and 6th grade. I get invited. Well, somebody told me like we should go swimming at the pool or whatever. I didn't really know those kids like that, but I'm like, I'm trying to make friends. Go to the pool. Some kid doodled in the pool. Pool was closed. But as everyone's leaving, they're like, we should go to Joe's house. I don't know who the fuck Joe is. But I'm like, yeah, let's go. Yay. All of a sudden, boom. A very large, and let me say this, I'm going to say this with all love, and if you know me and you want to fight me about it, fucking fight me. But everybody called him Fat Joe. He loved it. I loved it. That was my motherfucking round. And bitch, if I'll see you about that. Anyways, so all of a sudden out of a large truck pops this white boy, 2 white boys. One was his older brother. And they're like, yeah, come on, we'll go to my house and swim. Da, da, da. So I'm like, oh, I don't have a ride. He's like, oh, you can get in with me. Boom, I get in the back of the truck. Over to a nice white neighborhood. Swimming pool. Everybody's having a good time. Guys are jumping off the roof into the pool because young niggas is dumb. It's a vibe. But that day, the Joe spent a lot of time talking to me. Like, asking me, like, how long have I been here? And, all kinds of stuff. And I don't know why. I told him the truth. Like, the truth about me. About my home. About, like, being adopted, about like the struggles and how I would run away a lot. And I don't even know why. I met him that day, but I felt so comfortable with him. And he shared a lot of things with me, which I'm not going to share with y'all, because even in death, I will always respect Joe. Um, but we instantly synced. Like I met his mom, I met his dad, his older brother, and I was at their house a lot. He was always inviting me over. He was always coming to pick me up. And that started our friendship. Now, our friendship translated over, which a lot of my friendships didn't, from my childhood to my grown up life. That was one of the most down ass white boys you'll ever meet in your life. And when I say down, I mean down. I mean, one night I had got robbed leaving the strip club. I'm robbed, and the niggas took my purse, and my car keys is in my purse. So I can't even leave. I'm crying, you know what I'm saying? All my money gone, you know what I'm saying? Nigga done punched me. Like, nigga, I'm sad. I called Joe. I don't even know why I called him, but I called Joe. He's like, yo, where you at? Boom, he pulls up. He scoops me up. He's like, we gonna find your stuff. I'm like, yeah, all right, Joe, you don't know no fucking body. Nigga gets to calling. Boom. They found my motherfucking purse. Now it's empty, but the car keys are in it. So I got my car. And I'm like, I think I know, you know what I'm saying? I could put the word out, find out, you know, who the little robbers is or whatever. He's like, yeah, as soon as you do, let me know. And I'm like, you ain't about that life, my nigga. Like, I've been to your house. I know your mama. You nice for real. No, he wasn't for real. That was a down ass white boy. Long story short, we caught up with them niggas. And Joe greased them niggas. And we laughed all the fucking way home, bruh. Like smoking, laughing, talking shit. He loved classic rock too. So we would go mudding a lot because he had a really oversized truck, and we'd be rocking out to like 1 minute to Nelly and the next minute the Eagles. Like, it was so funny to me. But literally every one of my children that was born, Joe came to visit me. Every single one. Every single one. He kept up with their birthdays. Like, even if he just sent me a text or a message on Facebook. We would lose touch every now and then for like a couple months, maybe even like a year. And then he'll hit me. He'd be like, oh, where you been hiding? Don't do that. Where my god kids at? And he'll pull up on me. It didn't matter where I was. When I lived in North Carolina, when I lived in Florida, he pulled up on me every fucking time, bro. Every time. It was always love. He always had my fucking back. I always had his back. I remember whooping a bitch who tried to stun on my nigga. Tried to stun on my nigga and call him fat and take his stuff. Man, I walk the dogs on that hoe. Bitch, we don't do that. We don't fucking do that. But I knew I loved him. In a friendship love, like that. This is my brother. Like, he's my white brother. Like, there's nothing I knew I couldn't ask him for that he wouldn't do for me. And anything he asked me for, I gladly would have done for him. There's so many stories I could tell you about Joe, but I can't talk about him too much because that sure hurts my motherfucking heart. Joe took his own life. And I saw him like the day before he came over. And I guess he told me goodbye. Hindsight is 2020. I know now that's what he was doing. But in the moment, I didn't know that. Nigga, we had a couple drinks. We smoked. We talked. We chopped it up. He was telling me about his job and how he had got clean. And but he was hurting. He was hurting about some family shit. And I didn't think it was that bad. And when I tried to like peel back the layers on it, he told me it was fine. And you know, that you know, it's just how it goes. And I didn't see. He came all in the house. He woke the kids up. It was like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Told all the kids he loved them. He hugged me, and he told me that, you know, he always thought we would get married if we didn't marry anybody else by the time we were 35 because we were such good friends. And I was like, yeah, Joe, you'd have been a good play husband. And he was like, yeah. He was like, niggas gonna stay trying to get you It's just me. And I was like, Joe, don't act like that. I'm like, bro, you a great person. I'm like, you just had to get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? You had to figure out your purpose and your path. And I don't know, bro. I feel like I let my friend down. I feel like I missed the signs. He was sad and I thought he was all right. Not all right, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like, we talked about it, but he wouldn't talk about it but so much. And I'm nosy, and y'all know I be asking questions. And I'm like, Joe, you straight? And he just kept saying he was fine. And then he left. And then I got the call that he had committed suicide. And his mama had to find him. But I knew I loved him. And I knew he loved me. And I knew he would always have my back. I knew that was my brother forever. I knew almost instantly. The day I just told him my whole story and had just met him. He never judged me. He never turned his back on me. He never really even questioned me like that. It was just, what's up? You need me? Here I am. And when I say no matter how far, bruh, he'll pull up. He'll come check. He'll come stay the night. Like, when I was at my worst and I felt like giving up, Joe pull up and talk shit, bruh. He be like, man, we not doing that. You stronger than that. Look at all the shit you already been through, man. Don't talk like that no fucking mo. Let's smoke. And we'll smoke. And we'll laugh. I did shrooms for the first time with him, nigga. We had an awful trip. It was fucking terrifying. Me, Joe, and Keegan. He built a bar one time. He was so proud of it. The fucking bar was lopsided, y'all. It was lopsided. That bitch had a hella rock to it. That bitch had a milli rock to it, right? As soon as you lean on that motherfucker, ba-boop. He was there with me when I bought my first house. I knew that was the love of my friend, my best friend. That like it, I would never find another, and I haven't, and nothing even close. He was so solid, and it's so unexpected too. Like, nigga, we went and stole shrooms one night. You know what I'm saying? If y'all know how to collect shrooms, y'all know it's a dangerous task, bruh. When I tell you we was getting shot at. And when I tell you the nigga almost blew my motherfucking brains out, bruh. And Joe drove his truck through the nigga fence. Boom. He was like, get here, bitch. Rest in peace, Joe. Rest in peace, my boy. I'll never forget about you. I'll never let your memory go. I hate your mama had to find you that way, but I also understand that maybe you just felt like you couldn't do it no more. But I wish you would have just gave it a little more time, my nigga. I wish you would have just waited, my nigga. I just wish. Because there'll never be another. He means so much to me that my oldest son's name is Alex, but his nickname is Joe. We call him Crazy Joe. Joe will forever be in my heart. I can't even listen to that song Wayward Son without crying. He used to love that motherfucker. He'd be in the guy behind the driver's seat. We be riding all off the fucking road. I'm like, Joe, drive, nigga. Anyways, so that was the second love. And last but not least, meeting my G, AG. Fever loves AG, AG loves Fever. Mr. Benders. I knew almost instantly upon meeting him that this nigga was different. And I'm not saying because, the way he looked, but trust me, when I say baby, he was definitely my type. A rich nigga, sex nigga, that's my type. When I tell you that nigga was fine. Look at my nipples getting hard. Nigga, fine. When I walked in the room, I was like, oh. We like them tall, dark, and handsome, don't we? We do, we do, we do. We really do. Perfect lips. Oh my gosh, such nice features. So chocolate. Slim with dreads. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, 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 we found one. But beyond the way he looked, his whole energy was so captivating. I couldn't I couldn't pull myself away from him, from his from like looking him in his eyes, from conversating with him, from wanting to share with him and wanting him to share with me, and he shared with me instantly. And I remember thinking in that moment that like this has only happened to me once before, where I met someone and we instantly felt connected and started to share, and that person turned out to be a forever friend to me. And at the time, I really did just want solid people, like solid that I could count on. I didn't really want a relationship, but just solid, good people. And as comfortable as I felt around him, and he shared with me and I shared with him, and I just literally said to myself, oh, we're going to love him, even if he doesn't love us back. And I did fall in love with him. And thankfully, he does love me back. But it was very clear to me, just off first meetings, like, yes, I was physically attracted to him, but there was something in his demeanor, in the tone of his voice, in the things he chose to say, that made it very clear to me, like, he is different. And he will be different to you, and he will treat you differently, and he will approach you differently. And I wasn't wrong. His approach to me was so different. He was so consistent. Even when I definitely tried. I tried to swerve him quite a few times. He wasn't going for none of that. Ain't no swerving around these parts. The nigga said no. um Damn, it's clogged. He made his intentions known like day one, and he never let up. And the things that I was so worried about, like without even me having to mention my worries out loud, he just calmed all of them instinctively. Like I said something about I touched my hair or something. He was like, oh, your hair looks great. Love your hair. I was covering like my stomach, and he asked me what was I covering, and I was like, my fupa. And he was like, that? Oh, I love that. Bring that here. Like, instantly. I get very hot. My hands and my feet sweat. And he literally like touched my hands and was like, oh, your hands are moist. He was like, okay, well, my hands be dry. So your wet hands and my dry hands, I guess we'll even each other out. Like, so many things, like about having failed relationships or not having that kind of family network and bond. So many things that like I knew I was holding like insecurities about, and that I certainly didn't want to tell anybody about. He just embraced them without even knowing that he was doing it. And I felt more connected with him than I've ever felt with anybody in my whole life. I felt more comfortable around him than I ever felt with anybody in my whole life. I was so attracted to him, obviously, but the way he took time to be concerned about me made me even more attracted to him. Like, I couldn't control myself. I melted. Like, the big huge wall I put up came crumbling down. And even though I didn't want a relationship and I didn't want anything beyond a friendly interaction, I fell head over heels in love with him. And I knew that this was the person I was supposed to meet. This is the love of my life. This is my soul tie. This is him. And I don't know why I knew it, but I just did. And every day with him, even in our worst days, I still knew he was my person. I still felt like I'm supposed to be with him. I'm supposed to figure out a way forward with him. And he's the only person I've ever met and encountered romantically that genuinely loved my fro, that genuinely enjoys my belly, like plays with it and everything. Squeeze all on it, like all of that. Um, and he's the only person I ever met that I felt like was made for me. And I felt like I was made for him. And as soon as we like locked in with each other and decided to be in a relationship, I instantly knew like this is where I'm supposed to be. This is the path I'm supposed to be on, and this is the person I'm supposed to go through life with. I'm supposed to figure out a way to better communicate, to grow, to be the best version of myself, and it's with him. And y'all can feel how y'all want to feel about women saying that, they needed a man to make them their best version. I don't care. I think a man's his best version when he has the love of a woman, and I think a woman's her best version when she has the love of a man. And it every time I questioned whether I was making the right choice or whether we were moving too fast or whether this was all for pretend, the universe always gave me a sign. My children, our connection. I mean, so many things. I could list so many fucking things that he did instinctively or without even knowing that happened naturally and organically between us, between our family unit, that it made it very clear to me like I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it made me grateful for all the fucked up relationships, as bad as that sounds, because knowing exactly what I didn't want made it very easy to see what I wanted. And he not only gave me everything I wanted, but so much more. Things I didn't even think that I was deserving of. I literally thought that because of the way I am and the person that I am, that I'm not supposed to have a forever love. That I'm supposed to have temporary loves. And that when I get annoying, people go away. And he taught me that being annoying isn't a reason to give up. You be annoying and I still fucking love you tomorrow. Stop being fucking annoying. And he's the only person I never really wanted to run away from. Because I am a runner. I run away. You ain't fucking with me. I ain't fucking with you. Nigga, I'm out. Bye. We ain't rocking. This ain't cool. Bye. You don't like my vibe. I don't like yours neither. Bye. Like, I'm quick to bounce. That's not a problem for me. It's not hard for me to detach and let go. I will be in pain and I will be hurt, but nigga, I will be gone. But every time we argued, even when we like screamed and broke up, I knew I didn't want to not be with him. I knew that I needed to figure out a way to communicate better so that we could come together and be stronger than we were before the argument and before the bullshit. And it's worked. And it has definitely not been pretty, and it takes a lot of effort, but he's the only person that I ever met that I was like, give that constant effort to him. Give that constant reassurance for him. I have been in relationships before, and I have gone through the motions and did what was necessary with absolutely no love and affection because I wasn't in love with them. I loved what they could do for me. But every action that I do in this relationship, I'm genuinely thinking, I wonder how this will make him feel. I wonder, will this be a wonderful surprise for him? I wonder, will this make him smile? I wonder, will it bring our bond closer? I wonder, will it strengthen us? I always want to keep that love and passion alive. I always want to keep that want to figure it out together alive. I always want to be in the same unison with him, on the same page with him, in the same vision with him. I want to be in his image. I want him to lead and I will follow forever. And I've never felt that before. And I know solidly, without a doubt, that's why it's on my chest, Benders, Aaron, that is my person. And even if I turn out not to be his person, it'll never change that he is mine. He taught me so many things about myself and what I thought I was capable of and what I thought I was deserving of. And he raised the bar, so I know what I'm capable of is so much more than I thought. And I know what I'm deserving of is so much more than what I thought. And I know that God made me for him. Father God, Mother Goddess created me to love him. And I believe he was made to love me too. And those are the three loves of my life that changed me in a significant, resounding way that I knew after their love I wouldn't be the same anymore. And I wasn't wrong. No one ever loved me or made me feel anything close to John Parsons. I've never had that love of a best friend and never will again than Fat Joe. And I will never love a man anywhere close to the way I love Mr. Benders. And those loves changed me, shaped me, but also helped me grow to be a better woman, to be a better mother, to be a better friend, to be a better human. And that's how I know love is the most powerful, because I have endured a lot of pain and a lot of hate. I have endured more of the negative side of life throughout my life than the positive. And even though I smile, and I smile to keep from crying so I don't give up. But those loves gave me a reason to not give up. To not give up as a kid, to not give up as a teenager, and to not give up as a grown woman entering her 30s who was just over it. Over niggas, over this whole idea. And then he walked right into my life. And that's it. Those loves are the most impactful for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's story. Tell me about your most impactful loves. What were the loves that changed you? Was it the love of a grandfather, your father, your mother, your aunt? What was it? A godmother? What was the loves that were the most impactful for you? I would love to hear it. Drop a comment. Share the link. Shop beads for baddies. Okay? And I love you guys. Come chat with me, darling. Bye.